Hey, what's up, everybody? So this video is going to be a little different, as last night I introduced my friend to Guild Wars 2, and I was originally going to make that the video, me introducing my best friend to Guild Wars 2, but the video's audio was all messed up and everything was just not up to my standards or what I see as quality for y'all. So I thought, in order to make up for that, I do a sort of interview of him telling me his first impressions of the game and what he thought of it, and just his opinions on everything. So I hope you all enjoy, and let's get into it. Thank you for joining me, Gus.
Thanks for having me, man.
So just last night I introduced you to Guild Wars 2, and it got me thinking about if your first impressions differ from my own. Because during the first few hours of gameplay, when I started, I was very overwhelmed with all the menus and classes and options. But with time, I figured things out, and I was wondering if you can relate or if your experience was in some ways different.
Yeah, for the beginning part there that you had been talking about, it was a lot of very not being the Brace tool in the shed, as you know. It was a lot of just big words and stuff all over the screen that I wasn't really knowing what I was doing. It was very overstimulating would be a good word for it. But don't get me wrong, I was having a fun time either way. And then when you started to help me out, it became a lot more flow. Like it just became easy. You kind of understood where everything was and all that nice jazz. And I like a good example. A good example here. I didn't even know that I had to claim my level rewards or my quest rewards. That little gold that kept blinking on top of the map and like the diamond and whatnot. I just thought that was for aesthetic purposes or maybe something later down the line. Because when I clicked on one of them, it was just by a DLC, so I didn't think anything of it when they kept showing up. And that's just on me being slow. But like I said, it was just overstimulating. And then you taught me. It's very simple. But speaking of being like taught and stuff, I really love graphics. You know what I mean. I'm
Yeah.
very big on graphics, like gameplay wise, all that stuff. Like it's really nice, but graphics is the money shot for me. And when I got in that game, it was very much the graphics that I love. I love MMOs that have those graphics, and there's not many. I cannot even say there's that many. I don't think I can name one, as a matter of fact. I know there's probably one out there, so I don't want to say it's like the one and done, but uh, probably not as good as Good Wars, in my opinion. But I didn't know really how to word it, per se. And I was streaming, of course, being a small streamer that's just there, trying my best.
Mm-hmm.
And this really nice guy from the community, he came in here and he was happy to watch me or whatnot, which was really sweet. It meant the world to me. And he came in here and he told me the perfect word for the style, the graphic style of this game, which was like an old time artsy graphic style for like kind of like a painting basically. And that was like the perfect word for it. It felt very much like semi paint, like old painting, while still being really fresh. Like it didn't look like graphics that were bad, because you can't find them in common games anymore. Like nowadays games you won't. But I thought that was really awesome. So I loved it. I've had a great time with my experience with it. I'm going to be playing it way more. But yeah, I understand why you're addicted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned the community, because I was wondering how the Guild Wars 2 community differs from other MMOs. Because I know you play Final Fantasy 14, and I know you've been trying to get me to play that for a while, and I was wondering if the community was somehow alike or different. Because with this community, I've had nothing but good experiences. Like, I uploaded a YouTube video recently, and I've gotten nothing but support. I've gotten nothing but love and admiration, if that's the right word. And I was wondering if Final Fantasy 14 was the same way, because I've been getting nothing but support, and like you just said, you've been getting nothing but support while playing the game. And yeah, I was wondering if Final Fantasy 14 can holds a candle to that in terms of community.
Well, in the short answer, absolutely not. Don't get me wrong. There's some fine people on the Final Fantasy 14 online, but more or less it's just a bunch of kind of awkward tacos and meanie beanies, as one might say. But
Yeah.
when I came over here on Guild Wars 2, I really wasn't expecting it because I've never been in really many nice communities. Gaming communities aren't always the nicest, as you know, being being a fellow person that plays games. They're usually very mean, toxic, yada yada yada, or they just ignore you. So I was going into this thinking that he was being a little overdramatic, but I'm not kidding when I say that, like I said, as a small streamer, I'm not kidding. It was one of the most interactive streams I've had in my time, and it was really meaning the world to me. And it wasn't just interactive as in they were stopping hi or what. Yeah, I had a couple people come in and they were like, "Welcome to Guild Wars 2, man. I hope you enjoy your stay at the city, as you know, like that stuff." I don't want to butcher the name on you guys, so I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. But then on top of that, they were giving me tips, they were helping me out, and I told them I'm not really smart. I'm very not. I can be very slow, and they were really patient with me, which is a first time in gaming. A lot of times, gamers, old and young, are very impatient with you. If you don't learn it off rip, they belittle you and treat you bad. But I had multiple people sit there and help me out and treat me kindly and whatnot. And then I had this really sweet guy who joined my game. He came into my serve and he gave me a legendary sword item. Of course, I can't use it right now, being a bum, but like, he said when I get to that level, here's a really cool sword item with effects and stuff. I hope you have a good time in this game. And it meant the world to me. And they had some really cool stuff, I will say that. But it was just really sweet community with really sweet people and awesome stuff and just amazing. It just felt very welcoming, which is a really nice change of pace for when you come to games, especially as the such of MMOs and stuff, because they're very. I'm not going to mention any names, but we all know a little 3-lettered name. That's a little rude.
Look, let's just put it in a way that they have very extreme communities. All right, they have very hardcore communities.
Exactly. They're a little wily.
All right, we talked about the community, but let's get back to talking about the game, because I wanted to figure out how you felt about the gameplay, because I know Final Fantasy XIV had pretty decent gameplay from what I've heard, and I heard it was a really fun game from you and other people in my comment section. And I was wondering what you can tell me. Like, did you enjoy Guild Wars 2's gameplay, or like, was it not up to par? Like, how did you feel about it?
In all opinions, coming from someone that absolutely loved Final Fantasy XIV, and I've played a lot of just random MMOs, like little ones and stuff. Final Fantasy XIV was my favorite one, but I honestly am not even kidding when I say Guild Wars 2 is probably going to cross that threshold, as long as it has because for me, a big part of MMOs is, yeah, the grand adventure and all that nice stuff. The character customization is a huge one for me. Customize clothes and all that stuff. I've seen some pretty cool people in there with some pretty cool stuff. One girl, she was fly as a mother trucker. But
Yeah.
I like the gameplay aspects a lot. I really do. And this is a big one for me. I typically do not like ranged gameplay. I do not like using bows. I do not like using magic. I just like smacking stuff. Big sword go boink. And so this game really changed that for me. It was very nice. I liked that I didn't really have to aim. I liked that I was able to move around while shooting and stuff. It was a really nice change of pace. But what I'm hoping there is, because I haven't got much in, I only have like 5 hours of experience and whatnot. I'm hoping there is like small kind of pieces of pie of life and stuff. Like there's stuff like fishing, just little, like, not fetch quests per se, but like just stuff that makes it so the world feels more alive. Like little stuff like that, like shopping, which I know there's like merchant shops and whatnot, and just traveling, just stuff like that, if that makes sense. I like little stuff like that, and that's something that I loved Final Fantasy XIV for, which is why it was my favorite, is because there was just so much ability to do random stuff like that, where it wasn't, you weren't, go here, fetch this, or you gotta kill this big monster because it's gonna destroy the world. It was just like, take a day off, go fishing for the day, or take a day off, go buy some stuff.
Yeah,
and,
it allowed you to like live in the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It just makes you feel more immersed, more welcoming and stuff, which more than I already am. And so if that's in here, I'm very confident it'll probably become my favorite MMO, 100%.
Yeah, and I can't say if there is or not. I'm not the I don't remember much quest. I'm not a big quest guy. I just like looking around, playing the game, doing gameplay, and playing the main story. So maybe there are side quests like that. I am not completely sure. And but on the topic of side quest, I wanted to ask you what you thought of like the heart system, because you know how like other games have just like you go to a guy, you talk to him, you accept the quest, but in this you just go into the area of the guy and the quest is already up there. You can do it without talking to him, or you can talk to him, get like why he's doing it or what's going on. And I
Well,
wanted to know what you thought about all of that, because with me, I've heard to other people that they didn't really like the heart system, and I wanted to know what you thought.
well, in my personal opinion, this might just because I'm fresh on the game or whatnot. I might get annoyed later or yada yada yada. But as of the moment, I actually thought that was a pretty cool system. I thought it was really different, where you have like you complete the bar and then you go back and you talk and then you get rewards. This one, you complete it and the heart like fills up or whatnot, which I thought was really cool. It makes it feel like there's a little more weight to it, if that makes sense. Where it feels like you're actually gaining a connection because you do, excuse me, a certain amount of stuff, and their light meter goes up more and whatnot. I thought that was pretty cool. I like that a lot. I think that's a really cool, unique spin on the quest completion. Of course, you go talk to them and whatnot. They'll say congratulations, blah blah blah. But you can just, no matter where you are, you can claim your reward. You don't have to like, if you're like 500 meters away and you complete the quest for some reason, probably do it there. I know there's like a quest range, but you know what I mean. Like it's just nice that I could claim it wherever I want, whenever I want.
Yeah.
And I do wish they had told you that's how it worked initially. Because from when I was there was no knowledge of it. There was like nothing that said that you had to claim your quest reward. So I continuously would go back and be like, wait, I didn't get my reward
Yeah,
until
yeah.
you and the person in my chat told me that I had to claim the heart. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I remember whenever we were looking at like one of the shops for the one of the guys we did the quest for, you were like, I have no funds, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you don't get them from doing quests, and then we figured out you weren't claiming your rewards and getting the money.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, yeah, that was like my biggest holdback. Is why I was such a not low level, but like so held back for a while during our gameplay there. But after you figured it out, it's nice. But
Yeah.
I totally could see how that could become annoying later down the line. I just at the moment think that's a really unique take on stuff, so I like it.
Yeah, yeah. And to end us off, I want to ask you about what you, even though me and you have only played a teensy tiny bit of like your personal story, I want to see what you think of it so far, even though we've only played like a chapter.
Well, this isn't quite a part of my story, but the idea that I'm a little old man whose wife died to frogs, and I hate them wart suckers, and I just get to have fun with that alone means the world to me. But my storyline where I'm a little dude, I don't remember what called, a little dude who is on this quest or whatnot. Their robots are going mad. We're at war with each other or whatnot because of some smarts festival, which I think that's really goofy. I think it's like a little fun, little subplot or whatnot before you get to the big sauce, the big pan
Yeah, yeah.
holder or whatnot. And I think that's fun. And I'm at the part right now. I'm at the part where the girl's stuck in the robot. She's like soulless or whatnot, and you had to make. I didn't know there was gonna be like, heavy hitting choices where you had to choose something. Like I just had to choose if the boyfriend were to get in a robot as well, and maybe they both die or whatnot, but they could both be in robots together, or you have to yoink that girl out, and she might die, but she could go back to being normal, which is what I did, because you know. I wouldn't really want to be a soulless husk in a robot. I would rather just die in my corporeal body instead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I did that, but I'm really liking the storyline so far. I'm liking it. I do wish that I was able to choose my voice though, because I'm too young sounding for my
Yeah.
idea of a little old man.
I thought this in the beginning. I wanted to choose my own voice too, and I never played the Azura, so if I did at the beginning, I probably would have still had that same opinion, because in the other races they all have like the voices that match their race, but the Azura they just sound like little gremlins, and that's basically what they are. But I would have preferred like being able to like change the pitch of the voice maybe, because you can make like a really badass looking guy and he sounds like he's 12, and it's kind of like it's kind of immersion breaking sometimes. But yeah, I get what you mean by I wish I could change the voices, because sometimes it would just sound better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Just it'd be better if you were able to do that. But other than that, I've loved the game. I love being part of the Dobby Golem species, and the graphics, the gameplay. It's just all a really nice game. It is what I was looking for, a nice change of pace from the games I've been playing right now. And it's just nice. It's nice. And I can't wait to see more of the community, more of the gameplay, more of the story, more of the world. I really am excited to be able to just walk in the world. That's what I'm turbo excited for. I love that, how big it is. And I'm excited. So yeah.
Yeah, you speak of like walking around and exploring, and that's something I want to be our final subject, because exploring is like a big part of this game, and it's a big part of why I love the game, because there's so much to see and there's so much to do. And this game has great exploration, it's got a lot to see and a lot to do. And I was wondering what you would like to see in your explorations.
So, so speaking on this final subject, the matter at hand here, I love just walking. I'm a like the walking in the world. It's so fun. I just love doing that stuff. I just love walking the world. Random events are happening. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that random events will occur, which I've seen that random events happen. I'm hoping like stuff like that happens. I would love to see just like little world building pieces if stuff's like falling over, destroyed areas, thriving cities, blah blah. But most of all, I might have the hugest fear of the sea to known to man, but I love aspects of the sea where you can just travel on and basically be a pirate, just like Arg or like a Spice Runner or something. So I'm hoping there's like something to do with ships or whatnot in the water, so I can just travel
Yeah.
around in the water and make my old man a little fisherman or something. Like I would love that. I would love that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if they don't have that, understandable. I get that. But yeah, like just that, just excited to explore, just walk around, and you know, I'm really excited to be in the game. Just it's awesome. I understand.
Yeah, and we love to have you. And I think that's all the time we have for today. But would you like to have any closing thoughts or anything left you want to talk about?
Um, no, I think that really is all I have to say as the moment. Again, I only have 5 hours in the game. Um, just the community is awesome. Don't if ever anybody ever bullies you, you keep on being that sweet little sweethearts you guys are in that community. You hear me? You guys are sweet as chocolate. Oh wait, no,
Yeah,
sorry, can't do that one.
it's all
But
good.
but anyways, anyways, yeah, that's all I had. I'm just thank you for having me. It meant the world to me that you gave me the time to come on here and talk to you and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. So yeah, thanks again, man.
Yeah, and thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It just means the world to me. So thank you.
Hey, how's it going? I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you all enjoyed this discussion. I want to say thank you for the massive support you gave me on my last video. Over 3,000 views, which is insane, and all the support and love I got for that video means the world to me. Thank you again, and thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time.